Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. I tap the guest portal link, access denied. Screenshots pop open under my thumb like reflex. I try the link again, breath caught, pulse quick. The page blinks to the same locked screen. Someone shut the door on me hard. I'm Alex, I'm 29. I open our chat and type congrats, then stop. Delete, type again with a neutral smile. Delete, the cursor winks like it knows. If I send it, I legitimize a lie. I call Dan, 2 rings, a drag of silence. Big day, he mutters, music bleeding through. Who's on the list, I ask, keeping it steady. Don't start, he says, volume dropping. My chest tightens as he ends the call. I scroll the group thread, new photos stacking. Maya and Lace, her parents crying, are table tags. My name is missing like a cut-out hole. I search for a glitch and only find certainty. This isn't a mistake, it's a plan. I drive toward the venue and ignore the map. Wipers beat time, though the sky holds back. My mind chases the 1 week we stopped speaking. A small gap that grew sharp teeth. Something ugly lives there, waiting. Outside the gates, a guard lifts a palm. List only, his stance leaves one narrow option. I'm here to drop a card, I try, voice calm. He checks his screen and shakes once. I step aside rather than force a scene. Lena crosses the courtyard fast, eyes scanning. She spots me and bites her lip. Not smart, she whispers, shoulders turning inward. Whose idea, I ask as my jaw sets. Her gaze slides toward the hall, then away. She doesn't want trouble today, Lena breathes. Since when am I trouble, I ask, not moving. She's nervous about last month, she adds, twisting a ring. What about last month, I press, heat rising. Lena glances at a camera and backs off. My phone vibrates with a number I know. Anna, the sister, lines her words with static. You can't come in, she says, breathing quick. Why am I not invited, I ask, clipped. She thinks you'll tell him something, Anna whispers. What would I tell him, I ask, heart thudding. Not on the phone, she says, voice shredding. A pause lands between us like a dropped glass. Check your email, she adds, then hangs up. My screen is suddenly heavy with possibilities. I open mail in the shadow of a pillar. One new folder waits, labeled with my name. Unedited threads load, timestamps nailed in place. Rides at 2 a.m., rushed messages, fragments. A pattern starts to form like a bruise. I read the first chain, memory matching fast. Her pings were frantic on 3 separate nights. I picked her up, dropped her home, left. No flirting, no late confessions, no lines crossed. So why am I the problem she solved? A groomsman steps out to smoke, eyes widening. He clocks me, then angles his face away. You can't be here, he mutters, lighter shaking. I'm not here, I say, holding the phone up. He stares at the screen like it might bite. Congrats on the happy couple, I toss, 2 clipped. His mouth tightens, the lighter snaps shut. You should go before she sees you, he warns. Does he know why I'm not invited, I ask. His silence confirms the next step. I text the groom a clean line with no fluff. I attach one image from the folder. Not a rant, not a plea, just evidence. Read this before the vows, your call after. My thumb hovers, then lands with a final tap. Across the glass, dancers spin and cheer. A toast erupts and swallows my name whole. The guard watches me linger by the hedges. I wait for a buzz that might change the day. And I prepare to follow it wherever it leads. My phone thumped against my palm. Where are you? Short line, no emoji, no warmth. Side entrance, please, another ping before I could type. I started moving before doubt could anchor me. The service gate creaked, a catering cart wedged open. I slid through and hugged the hedge. Two staff glanced over, then kept hustling. A timer ran in my head, loud and uneven. He stepped out fast, boutonniere skewed, jaw tight. Tell me why you sent that. His eyes were blazing. Because half-truths look plain until you zoom in. He held my gaze like it might crack. Earlier I saw cropped chats, he breathed, chest rigid. Looked bad for you, like relentless pursuit. He flicked to my screenshot and frowned. These timestamps don't match what I saw. Open the next file, I urged, voice low. Top to bottom, nothing missing, check the gaps. He swiped, then pinched, then froze. The typing bubble on his screen stalled. Footsteps scraped behind us, a groomsman peered out. The door narrowed as he lined, suspicious and twitchy. 2 minutes, the groom waved him off without looking. He lowered his phone and studied my face. She told me you wouldn't stop, he murmured, shoulders squared. She said you threatened to show me something. I let that land between us like a dare. Did you see me threaten anything in there? He looked again, then wiped his palm on silk. No, the word came thin but decisive. He glanced toward the ballroom like it burned. Why would she build this story? Ask her what she called me for at 2:11. Ask what scared her then and the night after. Ask who asked for a ride and why. He flinched like the questions stung. A shadow cut across us, bridal hair, veil flicker, stiff shoulders. She spotted us and locked on me, eyes sharp. What are you doing here? Her voice carried clipped steel. The groom stepped half forward, but I didn't move. You blocked me from the list, I answered, steady and clear. You told him I chased him, that I threatened you. Look at me and deny it without blinking. Her lashes fluttered once, then twice. Leave before I call security. Her hand trembled, then hid. This is harassment on my wedding day. She turned to him without fully turning. She manipulated those texts. I cut in, razor clean. Enough, he raised a palm, not at me. Show me your full version now. I sent the entire thread, start to end. The progress bar crawled like a fuse. She lunged for his phone, he kept it angled. Her smile arrived late and wrong. Baby, we should do this after the ceremony. He didn't answer, which said too much. From inside, music swelled, then strangled mid-note. Someone shouted positions and got nothing back. The groomsman reappeared, scanning the corridor. Clock's ticking, he hissed, voice frayed. My phone buzzed again, message received, files complete. The preview showed my name at the top. Under it, her calls, her words, uncut. He drew a long breath that sounded like choice. She leaned close enough that I felt heat. If this collapses, I will blame you. I'm done being your cover, the truth tasted final. Her eyes flashed, then darted toward the hall. Wait by valet, he muttered, already stepping inside. I'll handle the next 5 minutes. The door thudded and locked, leaving echo. I moved, heart counting down in hard beats. A staffer blocked my path, then recognized him behind me. Back up aisle, he whispered, pointing to a narrow lane. I slipped there and watched the main doors. Silence rolled out, weird and heavy. The doors burst open, best man barreled toward me. He grabbed my sleeve and lowered his voice. Ceremony is on pause, he wants you now. He jerked his head toward the side corridor. Inside, he pushed the panel and held it. Through the kitchen, take the left ramp. I crossed the threshold and felt the shift. Whatever came next would rewrite the day. The kitchen door swung and clipped my shoulder. A server hissed past with a warning look. I kept left along the ramp, pulse marching. A narrow hallway opened like a dare. I walked into it because retreat was worse. An usher intercepted me, tie crooked, eyes jumpy. He's waiting in the lounge behind the band. He pushed a panel and motioned me through. The room swallowed us with muffled applause outside. He closed us in and planted himself at guard. The groom stood by a low table, jaw locked. No speeches, he started, voice hard and focused. 3 answers, then I decide. I nodded once and set my phone down. His stare didn't leave my face. Why did she call you after midnight? Because she panicked and wanted a ride. Did you ever text me anything flirty? No, the answer felt simple and heavy. Do you want this ceremony to continue? I want truth in the room. His hands unclenched at that, only slightly. He dialed Anna and hit speaker. Are the files yours? Yes, Air rasped all of them. Anything else I should check right now? Anna paused, then chose. Ask about Harbor Suites, Thursday at 1:03. He flicked his eyes at me, then the clock. Copy, he muttered, already moving. The door burst open, planner at her shoulder, eyes blazing. She clocked the speaker light and jabbed a finger. This is harassment, we're minutes behind. He lifted a palm without looking at her. We'll be later if I marry wrong. How dare you let this person in? She stepped to me, chin high, breath sharp. Your jealousy is toxic, my day isn't your stage. He cut across her move like a referee. Who were you with at Harbor Suites? She blinked, then aimed a wounded smile. That rumor again, please stop parroting nonsense. Thursday at 1:03, he repeated, steady and cold. Her gaze slid to the planner for backup. The planner studied the carpet like it had answers. She yanked her phone and flashed the chat. See, he's inventing things because she wants attention. Her screen showed timestamps that didn't match mine. I stepped closer and lifted my camera. Check the time zone header, it's offset. He leaned over both displays, breathing slow and loud. Her bubbles jumped an hour ahead in places. Why does your clock flip mid-thread? Her throat worked with nothing to swallow. That's a sync bug, she tried, voice thinning. An usher cracked the door, face damp, nerves high. Guests are seated, they're whispering already. 5 more, the groom ensword without turning. He pointed at her phone and held out his hand. Reluctance bled into compliance like ink. He mirrored her screen and scrolled with purpose. Call history flashed, calendar blocks stacked like bricks. A contact named Coastline appeared near the top. He pressed it and hovered over the number. The planner shifted her weight like she might run. That's the florist, she blurted, breath jittery. He tapped the icon and waited through ringing. A male voice came in warm and casual. Checking in about the room, sweetheart. The planner's face drained as time caught up. The groom didn't speak, he just raised a brow. Which room, I asked, keeping my tone flat. The suite you like near the elevators, the voice continued. Same card as last time or cash. The syllables spread across the carpet like oil. He ended the call and stared at nothing. Her chest rose, then stalled, then rose again. Vendors get familiar, she whispered, not believing herself. He turned the screen to the planner on purpose. Is Coastline the florist? The planner's mouth opened, then closed, then opened. That's our external scheduler, she pushed out. Sometimes he books overflow. What overflow needs a hotel room twice? Silence crowded the corners like witnesses. My phone buzzed on the table, short and sharp. A new email arrived from Anna with one line. If he hesitates, show the midnight voicemail. I thumbed it open and saw the waveform. My breath caught because I remembered the shake in it. He noticed the notification and held his hand again. I placed the device into his palm without a word. He tapped play and listened with jaw tight. Her voice filled the lounge, ragged and scared. I messed up, please cover for me, please. He stopped the clip before it finished. Her heels scraped against the floor once. Deep fake, she offered, voice gone small. He rested his forehead against his knuckles. Outside, the band stumbled and fell silent. The usher barreled in again, panic throttled low. Efficient needs direction, we can stall only so long. Tell them 10 minutes, the groom answered, still staring. The planner nodded as if that could fix gravity. I watched him try to choose which world to live in. He straightened and looked at both of us. We go to a quieter room right now. No phones, you two, follow me. He pulled the door and waited for us to move. The hallway outside felt narrower than before. We entered a small office with a locked cabinet. He placed both devices face down on the desk. No more surprises, names only, dates only. Her eyes shone, then hardened like wet cement. Mine stayed dry because shock had limits. Coastline is not a florist, he started, voice flat. Harbor Suites is not an overflow site. I will ask one more time before I act. Who were you meeting there on Thursday? The answer that came next changed the room temperature. Dan, she didn't blink, she let it hang there. The name hit hard and precise. He absorbed it without moving, knuckles whitening. I felt my jaw set like a clamp. Call him now, his voice carried a clipped edge. The planner reached for the desk line, hands unsteady. Cell, he ordered, palm open for her mobile. She passed it over, eyes refusing to meet mine. He dialed and put it on speaker. 3 rings, then his familiar laugh arrived. Where you at, man? Carefree, loud, oblivious. Venue lounge, need you here, now. Silence, then a cough dressed as a chuckle. Jitters are normal, take a breath. No pep talk, the groom cut in colder. Come inside or I call your mother. The call ended with a sharp click. He slid the phone back across the desk. Explain why his name is in this mess. Her lips pressed together, then trembled. He helped with logistics, she tried, voice thin. Hotels, vendors, last-minute coordination. Coordination with a suite at Harbor, I pushed. She flinched like the door had slammed shut. Footsteps approached, heavy and quick. Dan squeezed through the frame, tie loosened. He saw me and froze mid-stride. What is this? The groom pointed to the devices, face unreadable. Tell me about Thursday, 1 in the afternoon. Dan's eyes flicked to her, then back. Deliveries I covered because you were swamped. Which deliveries require a suite? The word snapped. Dan shifted, pocketed his hands, then pulled them out. Storage, we staged boxes near the elevator. Name a single box. He swallowed, he stalled, he frowned. His gaze skimmed the cabinet and the carpet. You think we hooked up, his tone sharpened. No, I think you lied. I opened the voicemail on my screen. I watched him watch my thumb hover. Play it if you want a scene. His bravado shook right at the edges. I played the clip, volume steady. Her voice filled the office again, desperate. I messed up, please cover for me, please. Dan's jaw clicked like a faulty latch. He glanced at her, swallowed twice. Hesitated. We met to handle a vendor screw-up. What vendor? The groom pressed without blinking. Dan lifted his chin and chose silence. The planner finally cracked and wiped her brow. He's booked rooms before, not my call. He looked at her like that sentence stung. Whose call, then? Hushed shouting rose outside the wall. Guests restless, timeline crumbling, pressure building. The groom steadied himself with one breath. We cannot proceed with this fog. He grabbed both phones and locked them. No more distractions, I control the narrative now. He faced Dan with a flat stare. Are you sleeping with my fiancée? Dan's nostrils flared and then released. He shook his head once, too slow. It happened twice, she panicked after, that's all. My stomach dipped, though I had expected worse. She stepped toward him, hands pleading, voice low. Don't do this here, we can fix it. He turned away from her reaching fingers. I don't repair deliberate deceit. Why bring me into it? I asked Dan. His eyes met mine and didn't hold. Because you cover for people, he muttered. Because you keep secrets and never brag. The groom rounded on both of them. You weaponized a friend you excluded from today. You fed me edited garbage to protect yourselves. He pressed his thumb and hissed through teeth. A knock hit the door in a rapid pattern. The usher lined in with cheeks flushed. Parents are asking questions, press is sniffing. The groom exhaled and rolled his shoulders. We will pause the ceremony, he spoke, controlled. Tell them we had a medical scare. The usher nodded once and vanished down the hall. My pulse found a new pace and stayed high. He turned to me with steadier eyes. You get to choose distance or involvement. I won't force you to stand here. I understood the offer and still stayed. He faced them again, voice iron hard. You are leaving this building separately. You will not speak to guests. Your bags are being gathered as we talk. Dan pointed at me with a shaky hand. You love this, you always wanted drama. I moved closer until he looked away. I wanted honesty, I still do. The planner cleared her throat and squared up. This will ruin the brand if it leaks. He didn't even look in her direction. My life is not a brand. He opened the office door and gestured wide. Security waited in the corridor, shoulders rigid. Escort them to the service exit, he ordered. Keep them apart and off the grounds. Dan balked, then followed, face chalky and stiff. She paused in the doorway and turned halfway. This will come back on you, she whispered. Not if I say it first. The door shut and muffled the hallway again. He leaned against the desk and closed his eyes. I need air came out thin but firm. Walk with me and bring the files. We cut across the back route toward the lawn. Two staff fell in behind us like shadows. He glanced at the arch, then looked away fast. 5 minutes, then I faced the crowd. Do you want me visible or hidden? He considered, then nodded toward the side aisle. Visible if they ask, you answer with facts. Short, precise, no unnecessary fire. He lifted the microphone from a crate. He met my eyes and asked for one more thing. If I speak, back me if I falter. I squared my shoulders as the room braced. I stepped to the aisle and faced the rows. He lifted the mic and waited until whispers ebbed. My timeline changed, he began, voice steady and sharp. I need 10 honest minutes before any vows. A murmur rippled, parents rose halfway, then froze. He nodded at them once, firm and calm. I will not share gossip, he continued, eyes locked. I will share evidence and you can judge. Heads turned toward me like magnets finding north. I raised my phone and opened the thread. These are complete exchanges, I said, pace measured. No edits, no gaps, timestamps intact. A father near the front clenched his jaw. What's the accusation? He barked, hands gripping the chair. Not an accusation, the groom answered, shoulders squared. A pattern I just verified 10 minutes ago. I tapped the voicemail and held it out. The waveform rolled once, then filled the space. Her plea came through crisp, no distortion. Some guests covered their mouths as it ended. The planner lunged down the side aisle, urgent and pale. Stop this madness, she snapped, reaching for the mic. Security blocked her advance with quiet precision. No one moved except cameras rising like periscopes. Anna slipped in along the wall and caught my eye. A tight nod, then she pointed toward a side door. Backup files if needed, she mouthed, palm pressed flat. I held there, ready to shift if he faltered. The groom set the mic on the stand and exhaled. I won't marry inside a lie, he said, voice gravel. This is not about punishment, this is about breath. I need air that doesn't taste like spin. The bride's mother surged forward, face blazing and wet. Fix this with counseling, she pleaded, voice cracking. Do not humiliate our families on this platform. He looked at her and shook his head once. A friend from our group lifted a trembling hand. What about deposits? He blurted, nerves rattling hard. We can handle logistics after we handle truth. The groom glanced at me, a swift check. I advanced 3 steps and kept my tone trimmed. Full messages available for any parent who asks. See the uncut context before you form conclusions. Please do not attack staff, this is between us. A best man tugged his jacket and swallowed hard. You want the ceremony canceled? He asked, voice hushed. I want the performance canceled, the groom replied flat. Commitment does not start with public theater. The planner tried again. Softer now, almost coaxing. Reschedule next week, same venue, same team. Refunds complicate everything if you announce now. He stared past her like she wasn't there. From the back, Dan reappeared, flanked by security. He tried to speak, then thought better of it. The crowd recognized him and the hum sharpened. He dropped his gaze and let himself be led. The officiant approached slow, hands open, eyes heavy. I can shorten the ritual, he offered carefully. 5 lines, 2 rings, minimal spectacle. The groom tapped the microphone and shook his head. I'm postponing, he announced, voice firm and clear. Gasps hit like a wave that never broke. This isn't abandonment, he added, jaw locked. This is refusing a staged apology tour. He turned toward me and extended his palm. Walk with me to the office, he requested. Witness statements, then we separate for 48 hours. I want a clean record before rumors bloom. Anna met us at the side door with envelopes. Printed logs, cloud backups, contact list, she whispered quickly. Signatures for chain of custody if needed. She handed him a pen and squared her stance. He signed, then passed the bundle to security. Archive it now, he ordered, voice controlled. No copies to leave this property today. They nodded and vanished down the corridor. A reporter edged forward, press badge tucked low. Is infidelity the cause? She asked, camera raised. I'm not feeding headlines, he replied without stopping. Truth will exist without your angle. We reached the office and shut the door. He braced both hands on the desk, 2 anchors. I need you to file a dated statement, he murmured. Then I will make calls I should have made earlier. I wrote the sequence in crisp lines, spare and exact. Times, locations, who touched what device and when. I kept adjectives out like broken glass. When I finished, my stomach finally flipped. He read the page and dotted his initials. Thank you, he said, almost under breath. Your presence forced an ending I feared. I still have to face the families. A knock, then the best man slid in sideways. Parents want a private word now, he breathed. They're split on whether to sweep or scorch. The groom stared at the wall for 3 beats. I'll tell them the wedding is off for now, he decided. Not maybe, not pending, off. He looked at me again with steady resolve. You do not have to stand with me. I'm already standing, I answered, pulse uneven. He nodded once and squared his shoulders again. Then after the meeting, you leave first. I'll manage the fallout with my own voice. We stepped back into the corridor and turned right. The families waited behind heavy doors that hummed. He paused and reached for the handle. Whatever comes next, he muttered, we earned it. He cracks the door and walks into a storm. Mothers talk over fathers, chairs scrape, voices spike. I slip in behind him and shut it tight. All eyes land on me like a verdict waiting. Start with the facts, he plants a hand up. No speeches, no bargaining, we are past that. The fathers hold their breath and brace. I nod and keep the phone ready. Her mother points at me with a shaking finger. You poison him with gossip and screenshots. Then look at what I brought, I answer. I place printed logs on the long table. A father snatches the top sheet and skims fast. He flips to the call list and stops. His mouth opens, then hardens into quiet. He slides the page to the other side. She stands near the window with arms folded. Her gaze never touches the paper, only him. Tell them you're overwhelmed, she urges, voice sweet steel. Tell them you'll sort it out privately. He doesn't budge, he lifts one page higher. Times match the backups, he says to the room. Hotel staff confirmed the contact we called. Everything lines up against the story we heard. A brother steps forward and plants both fists down. You can freeze the ceremony and still reconcile. We spent months getting here and paid deposits. He leans closer like pressure can rewrite numbers. That's not the cost that matters, the groom answers. Integrity beats seating charts and cake flavors. He meets the father's eyes without flinching once. Ask yourself if you'd want your son here. Anna clears her throat and lifts another bundle. These are the original exports I provided earlier. Chain of custody attached, signed inside the lounge. She places the folder in the center like evidence. Her mother swats at the files and misses. Where is she? She demands, breath jagged and hot. Security escorted her off the grounds already. A collective inhale rattles the panes like a threat. The planner edges in with a tentative knock. Vendors want instruction about teardown and payment. We can push invoices a week if needed. He waves her out without looking her way. My phone buzzes with a short message from outside. Press waiting by the gate, the best man warns. Cameras set at the exit near the pond. He adds, police asked about potential disturbance. He hears it too and angles his chin. I'll address everyone outside before they disperse. No details, only what I need to say. He scans the faces for a final challenge. The bride's father exhales and lowers his head. I cannot defend this and still respect myself. He turns, shoulders heavier than when he entered. Her mother glares at me like I built the trap. I didn't create this, I answer to the glare. I stopped covering for it and I'm done. The words taste like metal and relief. No one argues, which feels like confirmation. Last item, the groom says, shifting weight forward. My keys and ring will not change hands today. I will return rented items through the planner. Refunds can route through our attorneys if necessary. A father nods once, grim and practical. I'll move the guests to the patio for notice. He opens the door and gestures everyone to follow. No one goes first until the groom steps. We spill into the corridor and pick up speed. Security leads, parents flank, friends trail close. Anna keeps pace at my shoulder without speaking. We reach the patio and face a sea of faces. He lifts the microphone and waits for the hush. It takes 3 beats and then the crowd quiets. Thank you for coming, he starts, voice balanced. I am postponing our event while I sort truth. A gasp rolls, then halts when he raises a hand. I'm grateful for your patience and your presence. I ask for privacy while I untangle this. I'll call each of you directly when ready. He lowers the mic and steps from the stand. A reporter lunges, but security creates clean space. Parents move toward exits in tight groups. Friends whisper, unsure whether to hug or vanish. He turns to me with eyes clear and tired. You're leaving first as agreed, he reminds softly. I'll handle the interviews and the last checks. I nod and feel my own legs again. Anna catches my sleeve and lines close. I'll look after him tonight, she promises. Block numbers that try to rewrite this. She squeezes once, then peels back into motion. I head for the side path, steady and fast. Near the gate, Dan waits with a hollow stare. He opens his mouth, then shuts it wordless. I walk past and don't break stride. He calls after me once, voice frayed and thin. I was weak, I was stupid. I stopped long enough to turn my head. You were cruel, don't confuse that with panic. A patrol car idles by the curb for show. An officer watches the flow and folds his arms. He nods at me like he knows enough. I nod back and keep moving through it. At my car, my hands finally stop shaking. The phone lights up with a new unknown number. I let it ring until the screen goes dark. Then another number starts and I let it die. A final text arrives from the groom, concise. Thank you, breathing better already, talk tomorrow. I type back one line and keep it clean. Glad you chose yourself, I'll be here. I start the engine and sit for a beat. I see the courtyard and the rear view shrinking. I picture the stage and the vows that waited. I don't picture myself at that table again. Driving away, I feel something unlock and hold. I wasn't invited because I wouldn't be a shield. I didn't know that until the door stayed closed. Now I do, and I'm done being convenient.